What's up, guys? Welcome to the sixth episode of the Heat Check Podcast. I'm Brett, as always, with my co-host here, Joey. We got a lot to dive into. NFL Week 1, we're going to be, since we have no more top 10s, we're going to be introducing fantasy football into the podcast. But first, let's start with the NBA. Not a lot going on as the series start to go down. But big news coming out of the Houston organization. D'Antoni is no longer going to be with the Rockets. I didn't see that coming. I really didn't. Both the guy from OKC and Houston, I did not expect them to leave their teams. I really didn't. So I haven't read into it as much. I don't know where in the world he could go, but the Bulls have two huge candidates they can bring in. If they miss out on Donovan, they could get in D'Antoni either way. So I feel like Donovan's probably more likely. I feel like Donovan's probably the best fit. I don't know where D'Antoni could go. I wouldn't be surprised if D'Antoni goes to like a team like the Knicks, maybe not the Knicks, but a team that'll pay him a lot, and he can basically just go in there and rebuild or do whatever he wants.
It's crazy that they're just blaming all the Rockets'
exactly
bad things on him because he's been a great coach for a long
yeah,
time.
he has.
Isn't he a former coach of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Or no?
He won coach of the year.
Former coach of the year. But hey, that Rockets organization, they blamed everybody. They blamed Westbrook. They blamed D'Antoni. But there's one guy
I don't know who else they can blame at this point.
There's one guy that's been there throughout it all, and that's James Harden. I mean,
yeah,
can't really blame him, but
games-wise, Eastern Conference Finals start tonight, Celtics Heat. Good game versus the Celtics and the Raptors. That was a really good game leading up to it. Who do you got winning this game?
Tonight,
I should say this series in a whole. This series, I'm
going to have to pick the Heat. I'm going to have to go against. I'm not going to be a homer.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to.
I could be a homer if I want to. I'm going to Heat because of the fact that nobody on our team is going to stop Bam Adebayo. We don't have a big man. I mean, Robert Williams can play super slow. I mean, Tice is our big man, and I don't think he can really step up.
Tice is a good three-point shooter, but Bam is.
No.
Oh, he isn't? I thought Tice was a good big. He's not?
No.
2K lied to me. Either way, but Bam, who I believe is a good three-point shooter, he can shoot the ball here and there, but he's going to outrun y'all. I do also have the Heat going there. I feel like Jimmy Butler is going to lock up Tatum or Brown. It depends on who he guards. But me and you have been very high on this Heat team. We thought that they could make it to the conference finals, and here they are. I thought it was going to be the Raptors. If the Raptors would have made it to the series, I would have picked the Raptors because I did have them going to the finals now. But, of course, that's out of pocket now. So, yeah, I do have the Heat winning this probably in 6. But, I mean, hopefully they can drag it out. I wouldn't mind seeing the Celtics win it, but it would make sense for the Celtics
I'll give it 7 games.
It would make sense for the Celtics and the Lakers to play in the finals this year because the Lakers did beat the Rockets, of course. Reasoning behind D'Antoni no longer being with the Rockets. Lakers beat them in 5. Their opponent is going to be decided tonight. Clippers, Denver. Denver's been playing their heart out. They have been playing great. They've kept into every single series, and they basically haven't given up. Every single series they've been through at this point, I believe, both of them have been Game 7s. Good series from the Clippers and Denver, but I do feel like the Clippers pull out with this one, and probably a close game. I would say like more a 5-10 point game, even though Clippers did blow a huge lead. But I do feel like Clippers are probably going to go on and then lose to the Lakers.
We've been super high on the Clippers this series, and every podcast we've been wrong. So I think I'm going to stick with them in Game 7, but Nuggets definitely have a great chance.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep the Clippers.
It really is a toss-up, and since it is getting close to the finals, why don't we go ahead and throw our finals predictions out there? And, of course, like we said, win the Eastern Conference, we both think the Heat are going to the finals. And then Western, I just said I have the Lakers going to the finals. Who do you got?
I'm going to have the Lakers also. That's a powerhouse team, and I'm going to say that they're going to win the finals this year. I don't think anyone's stopping that team.
I'm going to go dark horse. I'm going to say Heat are going to win the finals this year. I would say probably a 7-game series. It depends on what type of play. If the Lakers play like they did at the beginning of that Portland series, Heat are going to beat them in 5. But if they play like how they have been playing in whatsoever, they seem to give up Game 1, so maybe they'll be able to switch that in both the conference finals and the finals. But I got confidence in the Heat. I would love to see the Heat. I wouldn't want to hear it from the Heat fans, But I would love to see. I would love for the Heat to beat LeBron to win the finals. That would be something. But yeah,
Absolutely.
not a lot coming out
Anytime
of.
LeBron loses, I'm happy.
Yeah, and not a lot coming out of the NBA, of course, as things are winding down. I don't know if the MVP was announced yet. They're probably not going to do that until before the finals come out or whatsoever. But NFL is back. Week 1 is finally here. We got some big games. I don't think we were too wrong on any of our predictions. I believe I predicted Green Bay to win. I predicted the Chiefs to win. I predicted the Rams to win. And then I predicted the Saints to win. And I predicted the Broncos to win, and they did not. That's the one I got wrong. But
I was right on everything except I picked Dallas, I picked Minnesota, and I picked the Broncos. So
yeah. So let's go through all the big games, of course, and then there were some upsets here and there. Of course, KC, Houston, blew them out the water. Not really blew them out the water, but I thought Deshaun Watson was going to put up 5 fantasy points for me, and then that fourth quarter, he just decided to bless me, which all I really needed was 20. Washington, Philadelphia, holy moly. The football team are going to be better than the Redskins ever thought they could be. Great defensive play from them. 8 sacks in total. I'm surprised Wentz didn't get hurt, but, who knows? He'll probably just get tackled after like a 15-yard gain, and then that's probably when he'll get injured. But, Washington had a great game. Their offense, Dwayne Haskins played a lot better. Dwayne Haskins outplayed Carson Wentz, which is really surprising. But, that's your top 10 quarterback. That's the reason I didn't put Wentz in the top 10, because he loses to the football team. Either way, Jags, Colts, big upset. I did not expect Colts to lose this one, but they lost Marlon Mack to an Achilles tear in the second quarter, so that really put a hurt on their rushing game, but it did open up the field for Hines and Jonathan Taylor, but they still did manage to lose. Minshew Mania takes over. Jags win that one. Pats versus Miami. We got to talk about Cam's debut. Played great. Looked like old vintage Carolina Cam. I don't know how he's going to really go up against Seattle. We'll talk about that. But he played great. Pat's defense really continued to show that they were that good. Bucks Saints, I believe. Did you pick the Saints?
I picked the Saints, yep.
Yeah. Saints beat out Tampa Bay and proved that Tom Brady will forever be a system quarterback. He played awful. He threw an interception, threw a pick six. He couldn't get it going. Their offense just couldn't get it going. The only thing they had promising on that offense was their kicker and Ronald Jones.
I couldn't tell if I was happy or sad to see Brady do bad. Like, I kind of liked it because he left us, but then again, it's my boy Brady.
Gronk had a bad game. Mike Evans had a bad game. I believe Chris Godwin didn't put up anything really good. I think, was Tom the only one who scored a touchdown?
I think he threw to Godwin and scored one.
He might have. But I stopped watching after the Saints just started to pull ahead, because I didn't want to watch Alvin Kamara torch my fantasy team this year. But, Bucks, they really do need to figure this thing out. I feel like if there's anything, they need to get Fournette in the game. Ronald Jones has been playing good, but when Fournette was in there, I don't think he got tackled for a loss. Fournette looked good with them for the few snaps that he got, but they do got to work him in there. Saints looked like the best team in the NFC. Dallas Rams. Let's talk a little bit about this one. First off, Dallas took some huge hits in this game. Really huge. Blake Jarwin, starting tight end, ACL tear, out for the year. Really hurt me. And then OVE, 6 to 8 weeks. Collarbone break. He's going to have surgery on that. But yeah, we got hurt by injuries. Jalen Smith played horrible. Our offensive line did not play good, even though Zeke had the nastiest juke I have seen. I mean, how do you juke out 4 guys on the sideline? That just boggles me. I don't know how you do that, but that's the best running back in the league for you. But Zeke played great. He couldn't carry though. Rams, their running game was amazing. We could not stop the run. Alden Smith, I'm so glad he played great, because he is the comeback story of the year. Honestly, with him in mind, if he plays like this, like pretty much how we played this year, if he could play anywhere near that and plays that consistently and doesn't get injured, he could win comeback player of the year. He hasn't played in 5 years and he's playing this good. But LA, they got away with it. Jalen Ramsey, I guess, just can't be touched, because literally he got tipped by Michael Gallup, and he went, ah! But it is what it is. Dallas down 0-1. Hopefully we'll be able to turn it back up at our home opener. And then Titans, Denver. Denver couldn't get it done. Gostkowski, oh my God. What happened to Gostkowski? I believe he dropped from the 5th overall most accurate kicker to the 8th in one night.
Yeah,
That's insane.
That was just
That's
sad.
insane. But, he pulled it together at the end. Denver couldn't get it done, but my boy Noah Fant clutched me the dub in fantasy. That's all I really cared about. But, enough with last week's games. Let's go into our offensive and defensive player of the weeks. Joey, who do you have as your offensive player?
I have Josh Jacobs, the offensive player, with 3 touchdowns. Great running performance. That kid's going to be a stud, man. He's got a huge
He's already a
future ahead of
stud.
him.
He's already a stud.
Yeah.
Offensive player of the week, it was hard choosing between Russell Wilson and this guy, but I do have Devontae Adams. Played amazing. Aaron Rodgers loved him. He ran great routes. He torched that Minnesota defense. I believe he had like 41 points. He was great, and I feel like he definitely deserves a week. I didn't want to give it to Russell Wilson because he's a quarterback. Sometimes they do have those 4 touchdown games that really boost them up there. But Devontae Adams put up insane numbers, a career high in fantasy points. And then I'm gonna go off. Actually, I want to hear, who is your defensive player of the week?
I put Jamal Adams. I saw that he had 12 tackles and a sack from the safety position. That's normal for Jamal Adams to get a sack, but he's shining with the Seahawks like we thought he would.
Defensive player of the week, I gotta go with my boy Aldon Smith. Had a great debut. I'm surprised he did as well as he did. I thought Everson Griffin was going to get hit, and even then, Everson Griffin showed promise. CeeDee Lamb also showed promise in that game, but I feel like if anyone in that game, Aldon Smith looked like the steal of the century. He doesn't look like, of course, because if you don't know who Aldon Smith is the fastest player to ever get to 30 sacks. Fastest. It took him like 27 games to get 30 sacks. That is insane. He couldn't keep himself together with criminal charges and everything, took a break. 5 years later, he fixes himself, gets reinstated, signs with the Cowboys, balls out. Aldon Smith obviously deserves Defensive Player of the Week.
And he was even homeless at one point, right?
I don't know about that. I don't remember seeing that.
I saw something that he was homeless. I don't know.
Could be, but Aldon Smith played great. Now let's get into next week. Like I said at the beginning of the podcast, we're going to be incorporating stardoms and situms. So let's start off with that. Who is your stardom for QB?
I have Dak Prescott as the stardom. I think that's going to be a shootout against the Falcons. I think both defenses aren't really proven yet. I think it's just going to be going back and forth. Yeah. I like Prescott this week.
I got Aaron Rodgers as the start of the week. Detroit let 3 touchdowns go to Trubisky in the second half, which is just insane. So imagine Aaron Rodgers, who had just torched a Minnesota defense that I still think is really good, but he torched them. I feel like he's going to torch Detroit. Aaron Rodgers, I wouldn't be surprised if he puts up like another 30-plus point game. Halfback, my stardom of the week. I got Todd Gurley. Malcolm Brown, obviously, just completely torched Dallas. He went off, and Todd Gurley, I feel like, is obviously the better running back. So we're not going to be signing anyone soon. We're not going to bring anyone up. So we don't have LVE. Maybe we can figure something out at camp, but from what I've seen and what our injuries have done to us, unless we start bringing in guys like Earl Thomas, which, by the way, I feel like we need to bring in Delaney Walker. I'm kind of over Earl Thomas, but Delaney Walker, free agent tight end out there. Dalton Schultz can work, but I like Delaney Walker a lot better. But yeah, Todd Gurley as my stardom of the week.
For running back, I'm surprised you don't have this guy. I have Derrick Henry facing the Jaguars. I think he's going to go off against the Jaguars.
Here's the thing. Derrick Henry is going to go off, but I feel like when it comes to that whole version of, oh my God, thank God I started Todd Gurley, everyone's starting Derrick Henry. So it's one of those things that I don't know if I want to start Todd Gurley over this guy, but I feel like Todd Gurley is going to be, you want to get him in your lineup. You want to get him in your lineup. Wide receiver, who do you have?
Again, I'm sticking with that Dallas Falcons game. I think Julio Jones has the best week this week. I think he's just going to kill. I think he's going to kill Dallas, and then I think Dallas is going to kill that defense. It's just going to be a shootout, and Julio's going to be getting the the most targets out of anyone. So
Yeah,
I think he's
I
gonna
love
do
to hear
well.
that because I got Julio on my fantasy team, but I'm going with the same mindset as my halfback over here at wide receiver facing the Miami Dolphins. I got Stephon Diggs. Stephon kind of got outshined by John Brown, but I feel like this week it's going to be Diggs' game. I can't think of a single corner over there over at Miami. Honestly, I feel like this is
Byron
Diggs' week.
Jones. Byron Jones.
Oh yeah, well he can't cover. He can't cover. I'm gonna be completely honest. Actually, now that Byron Jones is up there,
Xavier
now that he's
Howard.
up, oh yeah. Actually, I'll change that to John Brown. I'll change that to John Brown. But I do feel like there is going to be a wide receiver from the Buffalo Bills that's going to torch. I believe John Brown had a good game against Miami last year, and he was being covered by Xavier Howard. So yeah, change Diggs to John Brown for me. That's a fault. I completely forgot where that Byron Jones was even on the Dolphins.
Okay, we starting tight end right here.
Yeah.
All right, with tight end, I'm going with Kelsey. I'm going with the safe pick. I mean, obviously everyone's starting Kelsey, but I mean, I think he's gonna go off
Yeah.
against the Texans. I mean, who played the Texans? I mean, not the Texans, the Chargers. I think he's gonna go off versus the
Bengals.
Chargers.
I don't think there was a tight end that shined for them though.
Yeah, I mean, the Bengals don't really have any weapons
Yeah.
anyways.
But or at least that tight end. But same thing there. I just feel like we both have different philosophies when it comes to startums and situms. At tight end, David Njoku just got put on injured reserve for at least 3 weeks, so that is a wide open opportunity for Austin Hooper to go out there and shine. I believe Cleveland's matchup this week did not do good against tight ends, so I got Austin Hooper as the stardom of the week. Although I do want to kind of put Noah Fant out there, even though it's just one good week. Fant is obviously becoming the number one target. And if Cortland Sutton is out, I could put Fant up there. But for now, I feel like Austin Hooper is the better start here. At kicker, not really knowing who to start at kicker. It's pretty much just 10 extra points. But I'll put Butker here. I had to go with what you've been thinking of. Butker, I believe they play the Chargers. Yeah, they play the Chargers. Butker's probably
not
the
much
best
to
kicker in the
say.
league. Yeah.
I got my kicker actually on my fantasy team. I put Jason Myers from the Seahawks because New England, I mean, we're pretty good at like stopping teams on third down in the red zone. So I think he's gonna have a lot of field goal opportunities.
Yeah. Defensive special teams. I got the Bills. Once
Me
again,
too.
I'm high.
I got the Bills.
I am very high on the Bills. Fitzmagic is fizzed out at least for now. We gotta wait until week 8 before it starts to boil back up again. But they need to put Tua in. They really do need to put Tua in. I feel like. But yeah, Bills are gonna eat this week. All right, Siddums. Who do you got at QB?
At quarterback, you're not gonna like this. I have Deshaun Watson playing the Ravens. Ravens are just a great defense. I think, Deshaun Watson has had those games where he's put up like 3 or 4. I mean, I had him last year, and I mean, he's had those really
He
bad
has
games.
those games, but I mean, like last year, Kansas City, good match. I mean, it was a bad matchup for him, and he put up like 28. I believe last year against. I don't know if he played Baltimore last year. I'll take that back. I don't know if he played Baltimore. I think he did, but either way, the only reason I don't have Deshaun up there because I did consider putting him up there is because. Especially with the Chiefs. He got dominated by the Chiefs, and then in the fourth quarter came out of nowhere, scored a rushing touchdown because they were just playing prevent defense and got up to 20. That's the type of shit that kind of puts him at a sit-em for me. At my sit-em, I have Derek Carr. Derek Carr's matchup is not good this week. The Raiders do not have a good matchup, and you'll see that later on down my sit-ems. Halfback.
I'm going with Austin Eckler. I was really disappointed in him last year. He's playing the Chiefs, pretty good run D.
Last year, he had one of the best.
I mean, last week.
Okay.
Last week, he got outshined by Josh Kelly. It looks like Josh Kelly is gonna be the Chargers' goal line running back. So this really hurts Eckler's fantasy stock. Eckler's not gonna be getting those goal line carries like he was last year. He's not gonna be scoring that many touchdowns. I've stayed away from Eckler from the beginning. I've never really liked him this year. He's a sit-em basically every week until he starts improving and showing that he's going to get some goal line carries.
I think I'm going to go back to my regular mindset as I was doing earlier. This is type of running backs where you're going to be like, oh, maybe because he had a good week last week. No. If you got Malcolm Brown from the waiver wire, good. Don't start him this week. Malcolm Brown has got a really bad matchup. He definitely does. He played a just an uncoordinated Dallas defense, but this week it ain't gonna cut it. At wide receiver, going with another Raider here, Henry Ruggs. If you think Henry Ruggs is gonna be torching people, not this week.
I believe he's
Raiders.
injured. I believe he's injured.
He got injured?
I think so.
I don't think
I
Ruggs is
remember.
injured.
Let me
No,
see.
it was Tyrell Williams who got injured, and then Ruggs is the number one receiver. I don't think Ruggs is injured.
Raiders knee injury. I don't know. He might be playing anyway. So yeah, that's
Yeah,
valid.
I don't think Ruggs is gonna be. He'll probably be playing. He's just not a good play this week.
Okay, my receiver. Sadly, I have Odell Beckham. I have him on my team. I don't like him at all. I don't even know why I drafted this guy. He's been inconsistent since last year. He put up like 5 or 4
And apparently
last week.
he likes getting shitted on by both football teams and girls.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going on there.
Beckham,
You really
sit him. I mean, even say trade him at this point. I mean, he's just not worth it.
put him on the waiver wire.
Yeah, I'm
Honestly.
thinking about it.
But all right, at tight end, sit him of the week, Atkins from Houston. Like you said, Houston has a bad matchup against Baltimore this week. Baltimore allowed barely any points against tight ends, but they definitely sure did get a lot of points with Mark Andrews. But yeah, Atkins, I think he got into the end zone. I think he scored a touchdown. He was the only one who got a receiving touchdown. But yeah, don't expect any goal line touchdowns from him because who knows? I feel like if there's anybody that's going to be near the goal line, it's going to be either David Johnson rushing it in or Deshaun Watson going for a scramble. But who do you have at tight end?
This week, I'm sitting Noah Fant. I don't think he duplicates his performance from last week against the Steelers.
He does play the Steelers, yeah.
I'm sitting him. I mean, obviously, if you have him, you're probably going to start him. He did really good last year. His owners are probably really happy, so they're going to, make that impulse decision and start him.
With me at this point, I want to start Fant, but I got like for me, I need to not realize that I'm riding too high on my running backs. My running backs on the bench at least. I got T.Y. Hilton, Deshaun Jackson, and Cam Akers. All of those guys put up under 10 points. I have really good running backs in Todd Gurley, Saquon, Miles Sanders, and Aaron Jones. Miles Sanders is questionable. It was at one day. It was like a day-to-day injury, and then he was just out. So he might be good this week. Same thing with Galladay. That's the only thing I don't really want to give anybody the axe on my team. But Deshaun Jackson, even though he's the number one receiver, he did get knocked up a little bit. So Jalen Reagor is going to be taking the reins. T.Y. Hilton. He was not. I believe Zach Pascal was the top target over there. T.Y. Hilton did not get a lot of things. So that's really the hard thing about fantasy for me is just learning to let go of guys and everything. And I don't think I can do that with Fant though. I got to keep a place for Fant on my bench. Kicker, I have Kaimi Fairbairn. I don't know why anybody would have this guy on his team. He sucks. He's inconsistent, and he plays the Ravens. I don't think the kicker for the Browns put up many points. I really don't think so. You could say that maybe he'll get a little bit better if the Texans manage to get down the field and then kick a field goal, but I just don't like Kaimi Fairbairn at all. Who do you got a kicker?
I got Gostkowski after that terrible performance.
I don't think Gostkowski is going to be on the roster. I don't think Gostkowski is going to be the roster. That's the only reason I didn't put him up here.
I think they'll keep him around for a few weeks at least. I mean, if he does this again, he's gone. But
it is Vrabel.
I think that the Titans are just going to crush the Jaguars. I think they're just going to be getting in the end zone. So I don't think he's going to have too many opportunities. That's who I got as my kicker.
Yeah, and then defensive special teams. I got the defense that's going to get absolutely torched by Aaron Rodgers, Detroit. They couldn't do anything against Mitchell Trubisky. And they're not going to do anything against Aaron Rodgers unless they find a way to play like they did in the first half throughout the entire game. I don't feel like the Lions are going to be good this week.
I'm actually going with the Patriots. I'm sitting the Patriots this week versus the Seahawks. I think that the Seahawks are going to kill us, man. I'm not. We're terrible at stopping the run.
Yeah.
So I think Carson's going to eat. I mean,
I feel like if anything, Lockett's going to get locked down probably. But I feel like if anything, DK Metcalf is probably going to beat you on those short routes because I don't think you have any good coverage linebackers, especially without Dante Hightower. Yeah, I feel like Metcalf could burn you through the middle, and then definitely especially with the receiving attack. That I don't know where in the world the Seahawks started throwing the ball to Carson. I don't know where in the world that came from, but Chris Carson is a legit receiving threat. But yeah, those are our stardoms and situms for the week. Let's go through let's go through our predictions for week 2, at least for the biggest games of week 2. Let's start off with Thursday night football, Cleveland, Cincinnati. I feel like Cleveland has a bounce back week. Even though I don't feel, like you said, Odell, he doesn't seem like he's the number one target over there. I think Odell's going to do good at Cincinnati. But yet again, Cincinnati didn't really allow that. I don't think Cincinnati allowed too many passing yards, but it was Tyrod Taylor throwing the ball. It's just I feel like Cleveland's definitely got that game down in Cincinnati. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with the Browns in that game. Cincinnati definitely, they kind of impressed people last week, but
Especially Burrow.
the kicker blew the game and his leg. Is that guy okay?
I don't
I don't
know.
know. I don't know if he injured himself right there. It looked terrible. The kick looked terrible. His leg looked terrible. That was just sad for Burrow. Sad for everyone on that
Because
team.
Burrow really almost pulled something great together. And then I feel like the best 1:00 game around. There's not a lot of good matchups over at 1:00. Dallas, Atlanta. It's our home opener. For once, I'm gonna have confidence in my boys. McCarthy, please pull it together. Sign Earl Thomas. Maybe I'll be a little bit more confident. But yeah, Dallas got this in Atlanta. It's gonna be a shootout, but there's gonna be one common denominator. That's Ezekiel Elliott.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go ahead and hammer the Cowboys for the second week in a row. They disappointed me last week. I thought they would win, but I think they're gonna win this week against the Falcons.
Yeah, because I do think the Dallas offense is bad. Because I don't think Dallas offense played horrible. Besides from the fourth quarter when McCarthy just said, "Hey, let's not tie up the game." But I don't think we played horrible. Zeke played great. I'm surprised Amari Cooper managed to get 18 fantasy points while being guarded by Jalen Ramsey. But Jalen Ramsey is a sorry excuse of a cornerback and a pussy bitch. But yeah, I feel like that, just like you, I feel like that'll be a shootout. I wouldn't be surprised if you see like a 400-yard game from Dak and 100 yards from 3 receivers, that being CD, Gallup, or a combined 100-yard performance from Gallup and the tight end or whoever. But yeah, I feel like Dallas is going to win this one. Baltimore, Houston, pretty obvious. Deshaun, you could pull something great. You could pull off something great if your receivers decide to catch the ball. But Baltimore's definitely got this in the bag, no doubt. Their defense is horrible. Houston's defense is horrible. It is one of the worst defense I've seen. Dallas and Houston are probably one of the most disappointing teams on defense because they just didn't play good. They played. I can't even describe how bad Dallas's defense played in my mind. But New England, Seattle, Sunday Night Football. Who do you got?
It's a tough one. It's gonna be a good game. But I got Seattle against my Patriots. They played so well. Their offense played so well last week that I see them torching us.
Yeah, and same thing we were talking about earlier. Seattle, I feel like it's going to be a good game until the second half rolls through. There's going to be a point where Seattle's going to make one stop and they're just going to pull ahead. That's what I feel like. I don't feel like it's going to be back to back. You know, Seattle scores 2 touchdowns. New England gets a stop, and then Cam, and then nothing like that. I feel like Seattle is going to run away with this one. And then New Orleans versus Las Vegas. Your boy, Josh Jacobs, I don't feel like is going to – I mean, of course, you can't really repeat 35-point games, especially against one of the best defenses in the league still. New Orleans, I feel like got this game easy. Same thing, and like I was saying, Raiders are not going to be a good team this week. Their passing game is going to be ill because Marshawn Lattimore, if Henry Ruggs is in there, and then whoever else is the number one receiver for the Raiders, he's going to be locking them up. If they locked up the greatest quarterback of all time, washed or not, still the greatest quarterback of all time, they locked up all of his receivers, which people were starting to say, oh, that's better than Amari Cooper, Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb. Well, guess what? Those 3 guys over there in Dallas smoked Evans, I can't believe I forgot his name, Godwin, and that little white dude who can run fast. Surprisingly, I don't know how Brady does it. How in the world can Brady look at 2 monster receivers, top three receiving player last year, Mike Evans, a jump ball master. What does he go to? What he's used to, small little white guys. Except this one's faster than Julian Edelman because he wasn't a fucking QB. But yeah, New Orleans is gonna pull away here. I wouldn't be surprised if if Josh Jacobs brings them some trouble, because like I said, Ronald Jones did look good in that New Orleans game, but don't expect much out of them.
And they only beat Carolina by 3 points, so don't expect much out of the Raiders.
But with all of that said, that's it for today's podcast. Like I said, they probably are going to be a little bit short because we don't have a lot of predictions to get to, not a lot of injury news or signings. That period is over, but we're going to try to keep it interesting with the NFL every week. Those are our picks. Those are our recaps. We're going to be tuning into the NBA, see who can pull ahead, see who makes the conference finals over there in the West. But with all further ado, thank you guys for watching. Peace.